Hi, does this look natural? Hello and welcome to the stream. This is a skull that I'm using for a lot of my videos. I'm trying to paint it for it to look like it was dug out of a grave, but it doesn't look to my satisfaction yet. Hello, Kahal, sorry. Welcome. Anyway, this is a model skull. I've used this one to... Good evening. My family is not here, but good evening, Sean. Thanks for joining. This is a skull that that was used. Goedenavond. Wait a minute. I learned how are you in Dutch. Is who is it? Like, who is it? Is that good? Yeah, we'll wait a few seconds. 14 people. No, I didn't flip the timer yet. Hoe gaat het met je? I'm fine, thank you, if that was what I think it was. Hi, Gina, welcome. This hourglass is playing tricks on me because I noticed while uploading the last week's stream that it was only 52 minutes long, which means that the hourglass was like 8 minutes late, so to speak. Not enough time has passed. It should be 1 hour, and I was so happy with it. Hello, Joe. Who is it? Okay. Thanks, Hugo. Hello, Joe. So this hourglass is playing tricks on me. I'm not going to flip it yet. I'm going to make up the lost time. I was reading about hourglasses, and it seems that the temperature plays a big role in the flow of the sand. So, but the surprising thing about it is that the warmer it is, the faster the sand should go. And as you can see by the vapor coming out of my mouth, it's only 10 degrees Celsius here, because I just came here and didn't have the time to start my fireplace. So it's a kind of a chilly in here, and as it was the last time, I had a lot to do with refrigerators, so or coolers, walk-in coolers to be exact. So I'm used to cold. Yeah, I like cold. I like cold plunges as well. I have a video on my channel somewhere down there about me experimenting with cold plunges. It is one of my favorite videos, so you can check it out. It's something like a 5 a.m. cold plunge experiment or something. So this, oh yeah, I like it. I did voices in this video. So yeah, so this hourglass should be like 1 hour, but it isn't. It measures depending on the temperature, and it was the opposite as it should be. So it was cold and it was like 51, 52 minutes. So yeah, we're gonna wait a little bit and then I'm going to flip it. What I wanted to tell you at first that is that I saw the new Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein movie yesterday, and it was absolutely terrible. I don't even know where to start, how bad it was. I would give it, well, maybe 6 out of 10. And there was no one to root for. Every character was... I switched it off after 10 minutes. Yeah. The first half was, well, pretty decent, but there was no one to root for. I didn't like any of the characters, maybe except the blind men and And who else? Oh, and the ship's captain. This is not a spoiler because, I mean, not a major spoiler. Sorry. If you want to see this video, I won't spoil it anyway. I just say that there was the overuse of CGI, bad CGI, on top of that, terrible CGI. There was no need for such extensive computer-generated images or imagery in this movie, and they were spoiling the whole picture. It was like they couldn't decide if this should be a horror or a fairy tale. Everything was messed up completely. They couldn't even, hey Linz, they could, yeah, it's on Netflix too. The Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein came out at 7th of November. They couldn't even make a deer the right way. The deer, not deer, the elk in the movie was looking like it had Down syndrome. The antlers were completely disproportionate. The rats in CGI. The butterfly in the jar was looking like it was flying in the International Space Station. It was just absolutely terrible. And the worst of it all was the Frankenstein monster itself. It was by far the worst Frankenstein monster ever. He just looked like a guy with makeup. No stitches, nothing. Like he looked like a guy, like a bald guy at first. Later he looked like a lead singer from a death metal band for me. And yeah, and he looked like he wasn't stitched and sewn up from body parts. He looked like he was put up with hot glue or something. So it was just so terrible, everything. He had this little like scarring like on the left side here. It was probably to symbolize the heart, but the heart is here. It's in the middle. It's like this. So I mean like this. So it was just, and the movie was boring on top of that. It's 2.5 hours long, and just I was waiting for it to end. And there are some yeah, absolutely terrible. There were so many logical inconsistencies throughout the movie that it was just the wolves. Why there was no need to show the wolves as they were shown. So yeah, and wolves don't behave like that at all, at all. Yeah, I don't want to spoil too much, but I was really disappointed by this movie, and yeah, I was having high hopes for it, but well, I don't know. It has like I immediately went to see the reviews, and it has like 7 out of 10, which means that this is a really good movie. And I was like, are you people blind? But you know, to each its own, I think. So well, that's my so to speak review of the new Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein movie. Thanks. Yeah, my wife was laughing at me about how angry I was after seeing this movie. Yeah, I don't recommend it at all. Let's flip the hourglass and start the whole thing. I should start at 10 minutes, so okay. Yeah, it's free on Netflix from 7th. So yeah, I have this skull, as I started the stream talking about it. It's a model of the skull, and it's a, well, if you're in elementary school, it's a decent model. It costs like 50 euros. I bought it a few years ago. You can see the inside, and it's unpainted yet. I use it as a bowl for candy sometimes, and it's, I think it's big. I think it's the same size. It's roughly the same size as mine. Yeah, so the idea is to make it look old, but the color is wrong. And I realized one thing, that I've dealt with hundreds of skulls. I had hundreds of skulls in my hands, and I ballistic children, and I don't know how to paint one. So yeah, it's pretty big. I think, I don't know. Let's see, like this. I think it's the same. You need to keep in mind all the meat that surrounds it. Anyway, I thought to myself that how is it possible that I've dealt with skulls for so long and seen so many of them, and I don't know how to draw a skull. And I decided to put an end to it and learn how to draw skulls and skeletons, because what I do now, it's a complete disaster. So I started by drawing me as a zombie. You could see this on the Instagram here. I'm yelling at the kids about being too loud at the cemetery, and then I went to draw a skull to a. Oh yeah, thanks. I went to a video tutorial, and it looked like it's very simple. It's just a circle and some lines. But anyway, from there, I thought that maybe I will paint a picture of a portrait of someone. So I took this. I like really the Victorian era and the Victorian era portraits. You have these portraits of Edward Wooden. Hi, you didn't write to me as you said you will, if that's you, from London. Anyway, so I thought to myself, how about I will take some Victorian portrait from the internet, and just replace the face with a skull. So I drew this man here. It's just started. I didn't finish it because I went further, and it's just some guy. And yeah, and then I thought maybe I'll do a family picture, and so I took this opportunity to. The proportions are just terrible, and they are too low, so the composition of the whole thing is messed up. And so I thought to myself, okay, this is too complicated for now, so I will why not hello Derek, welcome from Whitby, from the Whitby Goth Weekend. For anyone interested, the Whitby in England is known for its Whitby or Whiteby. Let's say it's Whitby Goth Weekend, where hundreds of goths in awesome outfits come and just hang out for a weekend. Anyway, I thought to myself, why not stylize myself as a skeleton portrait? So I did this one. This is supposed to be me in my vest, and yeah, it has a ton of mistakes, but that's not the point. The point is that I thought to myself, okay, how about making something that will look like an old portrait? So so I did this, and this is something really interesting. Look how old is it? This is like 200 years old, and I made it yesterday. Oh, okay, thanks. And here it is. That's my portrait as a skeleton. And the camera doesn't do it justice. It looks way better at when you look at it just like me. I mean, and yeah, it's very interesting. The most interesting thing about it is how it looks. It looks like it's like 500 years old, and it's just a piece of paper. It's just it's the same piece of paper as this. Yeah, it's exactly the same because it's from the same sketchbook. So I'm really happy how it turned out. Except there's a ton of mistakes here, but that's not the point. There's a little gravestone here somewhere, but it's, yeah, with a skull here. It's barely visible. Because it looks like me because it has vest and glasses. So yeah. Yeah, the texture is cool. I like making stuff look old. And this was started because of this Patreon that I haven't established yet. I will next week, that's for sure. It took me, I had too many family commitments. So yeah, I thought to myself that I will post stories on Patreon about my job, my adventures from my job. And one of the best adventures that I had while I was working as an undertaker or a funeral director was this one body transfer where we went to a really nasty hoarder's house, I mean flat, and the guy was like lying for 3 months on the floor. So I have the story written up for a long time now, so I just need to paste it there, and I wanted to illustrate it somehow, and I thought to myself that it should be showed as a faint memory of mine, and it should have this atmosphere of a really nasty flat or room. But the thing is that I cannot paint yet, and I made this picture. I've scanned it also. There's the guy in the middle being eaten by worms, and it was meant to look like a hoarder's room. It looks way better when it's scanned. But the thing that interests me the most is that the aging of this thing, because I wanted to hide all of my painting mistakes, so I started to age it using different methods that I came up with years ago when I was doing props for role-playing games, which was more interesting than the games itself. I mean, themselves. But yeah, there are tons of mistakes, believe me. But yeah, but this is to depict this whole story and kind of look like a skull. Two pictures in here, teeth. Yeah, now I see it. But it wasn't the point. Yeah, it smells weird. It smells nice and nasty at the same time. So yeah, the same. Yeah. The thing is, I like these extreme cases because this is something that Van Goghian picture vibes. Yeah, Uh, I've decided to learn how to paint and learn the theory of colors and everything, and especially how to paint with watercolors, because they give so much opportunities and they do a lot of work for you when you paint with them. And what interests me the most is this mix style. So mixing every technique that I know in one thing. So yeah, this will be on Patreon as my profile picture or a welcome picture. We'll see. And yeah, and before I should watch some tutorials before painting that. It would be much better. But yeah, what can you do? Anyway, I went on this central cemetery last week to follow the footsteps of my live stream, my All Saints Day live stream, when I was wandering there at night for 2.5 hours. And I was supposed to post a video this week, but I couldn't get to edit it. And it was also because of this Needful Things book, which I finished finally, 700 pages almost. And yeah, and it made me think about if there's anything in this world that I would sell my soul to the devil for. And by that I mean betraying my own conscience or my own rules, and I cannot think about anything for now. But yeah, I cannot imagine living in such state that you are, let's say, famous or something, but you know that you're cheating or you betrayed someone to get there. It's just not for me. Yeah. I was thinking about material things and graves at that, and how attached we are to graves as something that connects us to this dead person. Like this is the proof that someone died. Yeah, thanks, but still, some I have this. I'm making this mistake for a long time now, that I'm very ambitious and I'm very cocky with my ambitions, meaning that I won't look at any tutorials or nothing. I want to discover things by myself, and it takes me a long time. Instead of just looking up what people do and what are the techniques and just get some pointers, and there's so much stuff available on the internet now. And the same with this my mini dead man. When I was making the first version of him, I have a whole shelf of atlases of anatomy and other anatomy books, and I didn't look at any of them because I thought like, oh no, I will do this from memory because I know how human body looks like. And it turns out that I don't know as good as I thought I was. Anyway, I know a guy whose father died, and when his father died, they put up a gravestone. Obviously, I went to the funeral, and his mother was coming to his grave each week for 2 years, all the time, obsessively, and cleaning this grave. And she was dragging her children to visit the grave of their father. And when they said like, this is a bit too much, going each week like 52 times a year there, and she was telling them that they don't what you don't love father by not coming to his grave and every week, and I thought to myself that this is not the way, and to remember someone. And I mean, the point in this the main thing in this is that this man hated cemeteries. So he would never, yeah, but that's the point. He hated cemeteries, and he would never want anyone to come there so often. So it's interesting. It's interesting how we grieve and how we need, yeah, how we need like a material proof about that someone is dead, that this is the place that the person is lying in. And if this place is not swept every week, that means that we don't remember them, or we don't cherish their memory. It's weird. It's an interesting thing to think about. Yeah. Spines go every day for years. Yeah. I think that no living person, that none of you, for example, who are watching this right now, would want to go, would want anyone who was left when you died to go for every day at your grave or every week. Yeah, the graves are for the living only, because the dead don't care. That's my point here, I guess. Oh yeah, I was thinking about the drawing. No, yeah, I was thinking about drawing and how bad I am in drawing. I mean, I'm not terrible, but I should be much, much, much better by now. And there's something about skulls, mediums. There's something about skulls that I'm thinking about why are we so obsessed with skulls? When you see Instagram posts with gravestones, everything that has some kind of a memento mori on it, whether it is skull and bones, skull and wings, but skulls, it's like 10 times the likes and views. What is it about the skull or skeleton itself that we like it so much? I'm yet to discover it and to find out, but I don't know if it's like only the thing that reminds us literally that we are and that we are mortal. There's something more to it, I think. Sorry, I need to scroll a little. Yeah. No, I don't have a real skull, which brings me to something interesting. I went once to a I went once to the Cane Hill Hospital in Colston in Greater London. This was the best place that I've ever been into, and it was a huge hospital, self-contained, like a little city for 2,000 patients, I think, for just a huge one, huge. David Bowie's brother committed suicide there, and Charlie Chaplin's mother was a patient there as well. There was a nurse skull in their school, sorry. There was a school for nurses there, and there were in one of the rooms there were bones scattered on the floor, and there were no skull, but the bones had little holes drilled in them, so that gave me the idea that this was a skeleton for learning how the bones work and which bones are what. And I thought to myself that, yeah, these were the times that some time ago they needed real skeletons because they didn't have the models, and now we are more advanced, so we have models of bones, and we don't need to use such barbaric methods as boiling someone to retrieve the skeleton. And oh boy, how was I wrong when I started working at the anatomy department of a university as a cadaver, as a technician. Yeah, so to this day, there is no model that would come even close in comparison with a real skeleton, because there are so many nuances in the bones, and they are so important that no 3D printed model will depict that as precisely as the real thing. So the real thing is the best thing to learn on, and so a lot of medical students around the world are trying to get a real skull. And yeah, I had some questions from them as well when I was working as an undertaker. Can you sell me a skull? I had some YouTube comments asking me for that as well, and the answer is obviously no. That's just out of the question. And yeah, I don't have skull, but I have a jar of ice. You want to see it? I have a jar of ice right here. Okay, I am assuming that this is a yes. So check this out. This is a jar full of ice. Ta-da! The jar itself was containing sutures. Oh yeah, you can buy anything. You can buy plastinates as well. Ice. Oh, I love this bone museum. I would like to see this. Anyway, these are not human eyes. These are pigs' eyes. But they are very, very similar to human eyes. And the interesting thing about it is that the pupil here, this black part, is just a hole. Because the eye inside... Yeah. I need to change jars because this doesn't look good. Put it in some other jars. You probably don't know this, but every eye is black inside. I mean, it's not black, but it's very, very dark brown. Because the eye, the light enters through the pupil here, and if the eye would be, if the eyeball would be white inside, then the light would be bouncing all around, and you would be just blinded all the time. Yeah. If you would like to, we can make a little dissection sometime in the future, so I can show you exactly how the eye looks like. These are not human, so relax, okay? These are pigs' eyes, and they are very similar to ours, only a bit smaller. So yeah, there you have it. I rescued them from cremation. This Pikmin Explorer 89. Hoi, hoi, hoi yourself. I know this game. This was a Nintendo game with little creatures called Pikmins. Yeah, I'm stumbling today. I'm very tired. This was supposed to be much more fluent and eloquent, but there we are. I forgot to tell you about this. I forgot to finish the story about this kangaroo scrotum. I will show it again. For those who don't know, this is a genuine kangaroo ball sack here. And a corkscrew at the same time. It's a souvenir from Australia. I've never been to Australia. It smells smells funky, but not terrible. Hey, my uncle. And so I bought this in the last Tuesday Society, and the cabinet of that's a good one. In the cabinet of curiosities, Victor Wynd's cabinet of curiosities. If you're ever in London, then check this place out definitely. And well, I went to the airport with this because I live in Poland, so there's a funny story with this. At the airport, I knew that something will be wrong when you have this conveyor belt after your baggage goes through the X-ray. You have two belts, and if something is wrong with your luggage, then it goes on the other conveyor belt and then to the separate area. And then they call you and ask, "Sir, could you explain what this is?" And I've seen my luggage, and it went like on the other conveyor belt, and I was like, "Here we go." It was a very nice guy. He was pointing at this X-ray and was like, what exactly is this here? And I was like, "Oh, this is a good one. This is a kangaroo scrotum. You want to see it?" And he was, "Yeah." We opened the luggage, and yeah, and he looked at it, and I was like, "You want to touch it?" And I was, no. And he was like, "Kind of big, isn't it?" And I said like, "Mine's bigger." And he was like, "Ha ha ha." Okay, just let me sweep your laptop real quick and we're done here. But yeah, there was nothing on my laptop, obviously, because I don't do drugs. I don't do drugs because I am drugs, as Salvador Dali said one time. And yeah, so that's the story. It was supposed to be funny, but yeah, it kind of is. Oh, I wanted to tell you, I'm high on. I wanted to tell you about a book that I was supposed to recommend you the last time. Just let me put the skull somewhere else and take a sip of coffee. I have this book here. I know that this is mirrored. I cannot do anything about it. It's Over My Dead Body. It's quite a new book written by Greg Melville, and it's Unearthing the Hidden History of America's Cemeteries. It's a very interesting book, and I've talked to the author, and I have permission to use fragments from this book in my video. I'll make a video which is long overdue, and it will be a video about the American funeral industry, because I think that the American funeral industry is insane. And don't get me wrong, I'm not criticizing the way that Americans are mourning. I'm criticizing the policies of the cemeteries and the embalming of every single body and putting them in vaults and sealed caskets, which is just anti-nature for me. And there's a great chapter here in which Mr. Melville writes about how it all started. And the whole embalming craze in America started with Abraham Lincoln bodies. I'm not prepared to talk about it, and I will do this in my video about the whole industry. But since then, oh, thanks for becoming a member. since Abraham Lincoln was, oh, it was Civil War, exactly, sorry, yeah, they needed to transport the bodies, so they started embalming them, and it stayed since then as such, and to the extent that it is now, which I have a lot of yes, exactly. That's the but the most famous one who started the body, who started it all, was the Abraham Lincoln's body. I didn't have time to prepare the fragment. I wanted to read you a fragment from this book, but I just came here like 15 minutes before the stream. So yeah, yeah, but they were embalming bodies for over 2000 years, yeah, in Egypt and such, but in a different way. The modern embalming is draining of the blood from the body and replacing it with something else, which is formalin mostly. There's a difference with formaldehyde and formalin, because everyone says formaldehyde, but formaldehyde is a gas and formalin is a water solution of formaldehyde. I didn't catch that. What you see? They were using natural stuff, or well, you mean, yeah, like in Egypt? Well, yeah, they didn't have the formalin yet, and formalin is oh yeah, it was like a road show with Lincoln's body, and yeah, it is all depicted in this book. There are interesting chapters here. Like the first one is, I mean, the first thing starts. The whole thing starts with the author telling you about how he dug graves. So he's a former Marine, and he's a professor of literature at the University of, I don't know which one. I'm sorry. But yeah, he talks about the pilgrims. It's all about history, about the Jews, about the slaves, about the Wild West, and while visiting the cemeteries, which are significant to what he talks about. And yeah, there are some cemeteries in this book that I would really like to visit, and some really iconic ones. And yeah, and Mr. Melville seems like a really nice man. I contacted him and asked him for permission to use a few fragments from his book, and he said like, yeah, sure, thanks for asking. So that was a nice surprise. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm completely unprepared today, so if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask them now. We have a lot of time still. Yeah, I didn't start my chapel as I was telling that I will, and yeah, I'm just going from idea to the idea like this little Red Riding Hood all the time. So it's hard to focus on one thing. But yeah, I would like to recreate this live stream. Oh, there was this grave from, I didn't want to tell it then, but it was this strange motorcycle grave with these fireplaces. Oh yeah, the eulogies, the extreme eulogies. I was like, I prepared this and read it, and it was like, I was disappointed with how I read it, but it wasn't so bad. I'm too harsh on myself all the time, and it destroys everything. I don't know when. Nobody proposed anything. I'm thinking about making eulogies about Oh, Ellen, graves are recycled, but what happens to the gravestones? All of the gravestones are destroyed in Poland. Thanks, Hugo. When we recycle a grave in Poland, the gravestone is going to be destroyed and turned into this crumbled rocks, and that's it. Because we don't have many of the. Depends if this is a historic gravestone. Velina Pond. No, I don't know this area. Velina? You, I don't know if this is a Polish. Doesn't sound Polish really. But hello. Anyway, we don't have a lot of historic gravestones. Everything Vetlina. No, I didn't know. I don't know anything of it. Anything about it. Oh, okay. Just let me start over. All of the gravestones after World War II in Poland are made out of conglomerate, so-called conglomerate, which is granite rocks, small granite rocks mixed with concrete. It doesn't have any aesthetical value. Well, historical value it will have in many years from now, maybe. But yeah, I showed a lot of them in my Polish mountain cemeteries video. So you can see Roku. Do you mean six in Japanese by your name? Thanks. It's like, yeah, Roku shichi hachi kyuju. And yeah, and after the conglomerate graves, I would like to make a whole history of the evolution of the Polish gravestone, because that's what I know and what I can depict, because I am in Poland, so this could be interesting. And they are evolving, thankfully, because they were so terribly boring to me that it does come Rokugatsu. Okay, thank you. So yeah, after the conglomerate graves ended, people started to buying granite slabs, and most of the modern graves in Poland are just slabs of granite. You have this horizontal slab, and you have the headstone. It's like a box with a headstone. That's the most common Polish grave. When you see the grave of a casketed person, because the urn graves are half their size, so they are more like boxes or small gravestones. So yeah, when the grave is recycled, the gravestone just is dismantled, and it goes to be turned into dust, so to speak. So into the mill, or however you call that place, which makes this little gravel for construction and whatnot. So most of the gravestones go like that. If there's a family gravestone and the other person is going to the same grave after some years, either the person is reburied deeper, as I did in my video, or it is reburied deeper, or if it was a double grave, then the next person is put on top of them. Before that, the existing gravestone is dismantled and stored somewhere. And after the funeral is completed and some time passes, so the soil sits a little bit and compacts itself from the passage of time, the same gravestone is being erected again. So that's why they are not cemented very thickly, so to speak. And then if you have space on the headstone, then the other name and date is carved beneath it. And if you don't have a space on the headstone to carve another name on it, then you either put a new headstone up, or you make something that is called a pillow. And a pillow, when you have this box grave, a pillow is a little plaque, little granite plaque mounted like this on this gravestone. And that's how you can add a few other names when you have no space left on the headstone. So yeah, the recycling of graves is a really controversial topic and interesting. And yeah, I often get comments that this is some kind of a barbaric third world country thing that we do. One of the graves is for E.T., like this, like Steven Spielberg's E.T. Yeah, it's a controversial topic, and people, especially from the United States, don't realize that most of the world recycles graves in one form or another. I just got a comment from the Philippines that they repossess the graves after 5 years if they are not paid for them. If the payment is not prolonged, so they just put the bones into the ossuaries and into the common niches, and yeah, so E.T. is buried in Salisbury. That's interesting. So yeah, there are different traditions. I like the one in Indonesia where they put family members in the attic as mummies and take them out each year, dust them off and put the new clothes on them, do a little party with them. And yeah, it's a very different traditions. In China, you have graves, you have coffins on a mountainside. They are just like you have a cliff and the coffin is just hanging in there. And that's, yeah, no soil, nothing, and no way to access your loved ones. In England, they start rethinking their burial practices, and they will start reusing plots as well. I've seen some videos on YouTube recently of how Filipinos deal with the dead. They don't pay the, yeah, exactly. And in what's the biggest city in Philippines? I forgot. In the capital, it slipped my mind. In the capital, they live on the biggest cemetery. They just live. They sleep on the gravestone. They have these little houses, these mausoleums, and whole families live in there. Children, everyone. They steal electricity as well, and yeah, they have a different relationship with death. Yeah, and it changes throughout the years, throughout history. Manila, exactly. Yeah, Manila. Yeah, there's this huge cemetery in Manila. I would love to visit there. Never been to Philippines yet. Yeah, I really regret that when I was in Tokyo in 2019, the last time, I was meant to film some cemeteries, but it wasn't as my thing as it is now, and I really regret that. But the most of what I regret is that I was on Seychelles on my honeymoon, and there were really interesting graves there and graveyards with poorest graves marked by dead corals, because no one has had anything else, so they used coral reef, just stack it, and there's the grave of someone. I was looking for a pirate grave there, but couldn't find it as well. But yeah, maybe next time I would like to revisit there and go to and visit there only funeral home that they have. They have only one. The whole country is small, and they have the Seychelles has the smallest capital in the world, Victoria, and yeah, really interesting place. I have some really. I mean, I don't have much footage from there, but yeah, I'll post everything that I've got anyway. So maybe you'll have a glimpse at least. So we'll see. Well, yeah. Anything else you have for me? Oh yeah. What are my plans for my videos? I have some videos that I have planned, and they are, well, I have three types of videos, like low effort, mid effort, and high effort. And the high effort ones are the ones that need narration and writing the whole script, and the ones with my what do you say? My English is gone today. Like the dead body dressing tutorial, for example, it took a lot of work, and the Spanish funeral customs. These are the ones that really take a lot of my resources, so to speak. So I have a few of them. Any night grave, yeah. I mean, I could go at night to a graveyard, but it wouldn't be. First of all, they are closed, so I would really need to be careful with my flashlight, and they are not as lit up as they were the last time at All Saints Day, so it wouldn't be as spectacular and interesting as the last time. But yeah, so no night visits planned. I was thinking about spending a night at the cemetery, but yeah, it's like looking for a cheap sensation. I'm steering into two directions right now. I want to get more to the bottom of the whole thing about death and grief and cemeteries, cultural things. Why do we do things that we do? Why do we think like that? How much of it is our cultural programming, and how much of it is a tradition? And I want to get to the bottom of things. And the second huge part for me is that I want to make death related stuff, like drawings, paintings, figures, miniatures. This is what interests me the most. I want to create this whole fictional world of death, and yeah, and that's what gets me going the most. So I'm really disappointed in myself that I didn't even start this chapel of mine, but I want to depict the whole process and show you how I think about things. This is also important to me, to maybe inspire some people that you don't need to really know stuff, and yeah, you can go by heart most of the time and get some really interesting results. So I won't travel anywhere this year, meaning like abroad, even to Germany. Maybe I'll go to Berlin. There's one interesting cemetery that I would like to visit there, because there's a cemetery in Berlin in which the Berlin Wall went right through the cemetery. So they destroyed a lot of graves in this very line, and there's something marking the spot. There's other cemetery in Berlin that I would like to visit, and it is the suicide cemetery. And yeah, there is this river flowing through Berlin. It's called Spree in German, and it has this bend in the forest. Then when someone committed suicide in Berlin and went into the river, they were somehow washed out on this very bend, and that's where this suicide cemetery was established. There's one very famous person buried there. She was the singer from the band the Velvet Underground. The name was Nico. She was a lady, and she died in the in unfortunate way, because she was in Ibiza or Mallorca, some of these islands in Spain, and she was going on a bicycle to score weed, and she was wearing a scarf on her head. It was summer. She fell, and she hit her head, had a concussion and internal bleeding, and went to the hospital, or they took her to the hospital, and she and the doctors said that the diagnosis was that she because she was wrapped with the scarf, they said that she had a heat stroke, and and she died. So she's buried there, and some fans are bringing stuff to her grave, and this cemetery is really small and really hidden. Do I have Amazon wish list? No, I don't. I don't even know. I heard about something like wish list, and my other plans involve following an old book, which is the Undertaker's Manual that I have. It's a very old one. I mean, it's a printed PDF. It's a very interesting one about what Undertaker should eat and how to present themselves and other stuff. So it's coming, and I'm really into what room are you in. Lots of interesting things. Can you make it? There is a video about this room. This is my room of curiosities. It's a work in progress. You can type wall of curiosities on YouTube, and there's a video on my other channel, Martin's World. It's a really small and neglected channel, so you can see about some of this stuff here that I was collecting. Some of them are medical specimens here that I was saving, because the biology class was renovated, and it was just meant to be thrown out. And I have some pictures from my great grandfather's funeral, some skulls that I'm collecting as well. This shabby skeleton here, but it doesn't count. It just sits instead of me there. I started live streaming on that chair there, but yeah, this is better. What is the dark square thing behind the hourglass? You mean the painting? You mean the painting here? This is my first painting that I've ever made. And there's a scythe as well. If you would like to see the painting, there's this video on this channel, My Paintings Explained, or something like that. Just scroll down and you'll see. I really urge you to scroll down on my channel, because there's really weird stuff there, and nothing cemetery related. And yeah, it starts with the Orange Surgery to Moonlight Sonata. So I was experimenting, and I'm terrible with the names, and I don't like him much, because he's just terrible. I would like to buy a much better skeleton, but I don't have the money yet. It is a painting, and I made I made the frame myself. The frame is meant to be looking like flesh and barbed wire and stuff like that. So yeah, it was I have some weird stuff, and my mind went into weird places. I was very interested in Silent Hill series one time, and was very active in this area, and yeah, it inspired me a lot. It was, yeah, it inspired me to go into abandoned places, and but I really like hospitals. I always loved hospitals. I was as a patient one time in the hospital, and it was great. And they had enough of me because I was asking so much questions. Then I worked at the hospital, and I worked at the very hospital that I was born in. So that's interesting. After 40 years, after 42 years, no, after 40 years, it was some time ago. Yeah, so I always wanted to see what these dead stuff, dead things, dead bodies, and everything that related, why people are so afraid of it, and why is it such a taboo. So I wanted to know dead people inside out, and I did. I've dissected many bodies as well, and not in a autopsy way, because an autopsy is just like well, what's the best depiction of it? Like in it's like in a meat factory. It's just bam bam bam. When someone's really adept in dissections, I had the pleasure of seeing a guy who had over 20,000 autopsies under his belt, and it was just, I was asking him to slow down because he was so fast. It was absolutely incredible how precise and how fast he was. An autopsy is about removing organs and then cutting them into slices. But the technician removes all of the organs, and the doctor, the pathologist, is slicing them, and then there's this one guy also who is writing everything down. And that's pretty much it. It's just a bloodbath. But when you do a dissection for students to learn on, that's a whole different ball game, because you need to be very precise, and you peel layer by layer, nerve by nerve, and vein by vein, everything. And it's absolutely amazing. I love it, and I would love to go back to it someday, but we'll see about that. Yeah, so I first started as an undertaker by chance. I was talking about this, but maybe I'll do it one more time in a more digestible form as a one video. And yeah, and then I had the opportunity to dissect people for students to learn. So I know exactly, exactly how heavy is a leg, for example, and it's very heavy. You won't hold a leg, someone's leg, for a long like this. Really, it's very heavy, and it's so bizarre, and it's so fascinating how we look inside. How hard it is to remove someone's eye. You think that you can pop someone's eye like this, but that's nonsense. And yeah, how the brain feels when you hold it in your hands. It was 59 minutes. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the time is gone. So yeah, I would like to incorporate my my experiences with dead people. That's interesting. We'll see. Maybe the hole is different on the other side. I need to mark this, and yeah, the temperature plays a role. Anyway, I would like to incorporate my experiences in my art, and and make death more human, so to speak. Yeah, because I think it's stupid that people are making death such a taboo, and or making or that the fact that someone died makes them sacred automatically somehow, or their bones sacred. It's interesting how we look at that, and I really want to get to the bottom of all this. So we'll see. I was stumbling terribly today. It's just I'll never watch this video from this stream, probably maybe in 10 years. Sorry for that. I wasn't prepared as I wanted to be, and yeah, it'll get better, I think. So we'll, I think, end on that note. Unless you have a few questions for me, then we'll pretend that the time didn't pass yet. So yeah, I'll just scroll this stream. I'm waiting for the package to come from the States, and I will open the package on live stream. If you want to save me, if you want to send me something, then I'll post the address of my PO box down there. Check out my older videos. Oh, have you seen the video? This is one of my favorite. Thanks, you're very kind. Yeah, I have a question for you. Have you seen my video about me spinning my head in the washing machine? Check it out. I made a little music video with my washing machine as I was, I first repaired it. There's a video about this as well. It's a weird one. And then I've decided to spin my head in it. And yeah, it's kind of interesting. I like it. It goes nice with the music. So yeah, you've seen this one. Yeah. So yeah, if you're interested about what's behind me, there's this Wall of Curiosities video. Oh, and as for the plans, I'm thinking about redoing my zombie clothes project. For those of you who don't know, I've buried some clothes in the ground to show how fast and to see how fast they will rot. And there's a 3-part video. From there, I'm making fashion shows at the end with music and poses, and yeah, it's surprising how some of the clothes go just like this after 3 months, and then some of them are unchanged after 6 months, and some of them look like new after 1 year. So I highly recommend these videos. It's the Zombie Clothes Project or Zombie Fashion Show. I don't know. I keep changing the titles, which is I don't know if it's a good idea. My views are the worst since 365 days, but I'm not giving up. I take this as another molting of process of myself, and yeah, we'll see what kind of a moth will emerge from this cocoon that I'm in now. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you next time, guys. You're the best. Mwah.